Welcome back, my dear students. We are still continuing with the rotation as part of the transformation, right? The video here, I will give you the more story about the rotation as another example of the transformation. So before we discuss the today's work, may you please revise the work we introduced earlier about the same rotation so that you should be able to be familiar with the issues that are involved in the rotation. Right, this time around, we'll need just have to have an extra example as per the previous what we studied in the previous video, where we will need to do the rotation on the Cartesian plane. How can we rotate an object or a figure on the Cartesian plane? Right, so always, as I say, here we don't usually begin from nowhere. It's a connection of the previous videos, so always please be updated with what we have had in the starting point. So we started by already defining the issues about rotation, points to consider. I had one example to give you skills on how you can rotate a figure. So here we are now. We would like to extend the knowledge of which in the Cartesian plane. So suppose we are given a question where we need to rotate an object in the Cartesian plane. How do we do that? Right, so everything here has a basis coming from the previous example we have had. So like here we have an example where we are told that say there's a rectangle ABCD, right, whose vertices are given as A 1, 0, B 4, 0, C 4, 2, and D 1, 2. Our task here is simply to draw the image of this rectangle. So here, in this case, this rectangle is a figure and is regarded as an object already. Right, so we draw the image ABCD of rectangle ABCD, and then we are asked to find the coordinates of the image, which are A, B, C, and D, after a rotation of negative 90 degrees about O, that's a 0, point of origin as center of what? Rotation. Right. So we have got two categories of problems here, and you expect the same way to come in exam. Either as it was earlier in the first example, that's a previous video, they can draw you a shape and they ask you to rotate where they give you a center somewhere, or else you may have an issue that involves the Cartesian plane like this one we have here. Right, so here thinking we should not even waste much of our time. What is here is self-explanatory. As a student, given the graph paper, what you need to do, first of all, is you have to draw this rectangle ABC D. You have got the vertices here, well given with their coordinates. So try at least to fix in these coordinates in the Cartesian plane and connect them in order to yield the rectangle that is defined in this question. Then after, what do we do? The same skills we discussed that time. But you have to realize, first of all, to which direction are we going to rotate that what? Figure. Last time it was positive, which was positive 60, if you can go by the video I've had. But now this time I've got 90. Which direction of the 90? Is it positive, negative? Now it's negative. So here, the moment it's negative, realize that we're going to rotate this figure towards the light. That's the clockwise direction. Right. Now, let's start the activity. So here, I don't have the graph paper, and in your case, if you have it, please utilize it. But you also don't have it. Let's just have a sketch where we just need only to draw the y and x axis at large, representing the lines which are crossing each other vertically and horizontally. So I have this one as my y axis. I may not be accurate because the board here is not having all those lines as it in the Cartesian plane. I may not be exact to scale, but the skills of which are what we need here. Very important. So do as I do here. I'll have my x-axis, I think, raised up. My space here is limited, so I'll try to do my best. Where I may not manage, I'll just give you some guidance, or say direction, that this is the way we should do. Right, so here we are, x-axis and y-axis given. So let's have this one as my x-axis and this one as my y-axis. This is my point of origin 0. Here we don't have a coordinate that is negative, so that's why here my negative part of the x-axis is shorter. Right, I've included this side here because I've seen that the direction is positive, is clockwise, so I expect my image to be on this side, and definitely it's going to fall here. So that's why I'm leaving a lot of space on this side and extended up the what? The negative part of the y-axis. Right. So as you also draw this way axis, always have to be able to go by at least the judgment, have to judge based on the what? The coordinates you have, and also the what? Direction of the rotation. So that you have to have at least space on one side where the image is going to fall. Otherwise, you find that if you create a little space, then the image may not be in that position. So let us have the scale. To be a little bit exact here, I will have my scale guided by this ruler. I'll try at least to do this. I'll go by 2 centimeters, 2 here, 2 there, 2 there, and here again is 2, 2, 2. I'll consider the 2s as 1 unit. 1, 2, 3, 4. Here is 5, you can have a 6. So you go say 1, 2, 3, 4. No, it will be like that. On the y-axis, the same, the positive part. We've got 1, 2, 3, and up here, let's have a 4, at least. So 4 will be here, right? So I've got this one here, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 unit at 2 centimeters. So down here, the same scale. We'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, on top of a 6. So the line should pass like this. Not toward that direction. So here we are, -1, -2, -3, -4, -5. Right? This here you can have just like a representative as a negative side part of the x-axis, and this is -1. Right. I felt like that we do together instead of just giving you steps on how you can do. Somewhere I feel like you cannot follow exactly what is stipulated in the procedures. But if maybe I say something and we do together here, I think you're going to get sense of what I'm trying to say. Right, so this is what we have. So I have hope that you have also drawn the 2 axes as I've done here, so that when I do here, you also do the same. If at the end I close my lesson here, at least you find yourself at least gaining a certain skill. Okay. Right, so we are responding to the question. So the first thing we do is, let's introduce these points here in order to come up with the rectangle that is defined by A, B, C, D. Right, so we begin by point A, found at x is 1, y is 0. X is 1, y is 0, so it means your point is here. So here you can have your A. X is 4, y is 0 for point B. X is 4, y is 0, it's here. So you also make a point here as B. I think we're doing together here. First point is here, second point is here. Take note of that. Then in C, x is 4, y is 2. X is 4, y is 2. So it means somewhere here. If you can take a line that comes from here, it goes like that, for the y is 2, and the 4 is here. You can be able to have it approximately somewhere here. And it's mentioned because this is not drawn to scale, the board is not all that drawn to scale. The board doesn't have those lines which can help us to have the accurate scale aside. Then the other point is x is 1, y is 2. X is 1 is here, y is 2 is somewhere here. So here is our point D. Here we have our point C. Right. So if I'll join these points by straight lines like this. So here I have a line connecting A and D. And here's a line connecting D and C. And finally a line connecting C and B. So this is what we have. And then you can also at least draw a line connecting A and B like that. So this is your object. Right. So the rectangle that is defined here in this question is this one here. Right. So please, it's just a simple activity. But if you mess up with skills, you're done. Right. So now, let us now come up with the image. How will be the image like? And where will it be? Right. So we are to rotate this rectangle towards the light, that's the clockwise direction, because of the sign is negative. So what we do the same as we started. This is our center of rotation. As previously it was O. Now we're told that center of rotation is O because it's here where we have got the 0, 0. And you can represent it by capital letter O. Now, how do we go? The same skills as I previously indicated. If you like to have an image, target the points, the vertices. You work at them one at a time. You need to come up with the image of every point that forms that what? Figure. So like here, we need to have the image of D, C, B, and A. At what position will they be? Then at the end we're going to connect. Then it means the resultant shape comes in the same congruent as to the what? Object itself. So let's begin with the A. With A, it means we have to draw a line from A to the center. That's what we started. That is object line. So A to the center, this is our object line. So it means I'll take my ruler and have the line from center to position A. So I have my line here, although the line is already there, but still more I assume that there's no line there, but still more take this one up to that end. So this one, OA is the object line for point A. Now, with this line, I have to create an angle of 90 degrees with a protractor. So area, if it was positive, I'll put it on top, but now as negative, I'll put it down, so that this figure should be to your light. Right, now what is here is like as I put my protractor like this, you'll be able to appreciate that my 90 degrees is somewhere here. It's just like within the line. So my line here, it's here. This is the direction of 90 degrees. Right, now from here, look at that. This is 90 degrees. Now, what is the position of A within this line of 90 degrees? This is a line of 90 degrees. A is found at a particular distance within that line. So as I said, object distance should be the same as image distance of those points. Let's say object distance should be the same as the image distance. So what I'm going to do is I'll measure the distance from center to O, which is like in this case is 2 centimeters. So it means within that line of 90 degrees, where I need to come up the position of where let's say talk of the image of A. I need also to create a distance of 2 centimeters. From here is 2, here again is also 2. So which means here we have A at this position here. This is 2 centimeter, 2 centimeter. So my A will be somewhere here. And I write A, then complement. So position of A is here. Right. Next, let me handle a D. Where are we going to have a D? For the D, I'll do the same. I'll take a line from D to center of rotation like that. That is object line. What about the image line for D? It means I also have to get a protractor and measure an angle against that line like this. And that angle should be 90 degrees. So my angle of 90 degrees, my 90 is this, is the position of 90. Look at that. That's 90. So a line from here passing through that one is a 90-degree line. Right. But now the exact position of D, where is it? Right. So what I'll do there, I'll measure the distance of D from center O. So I have my ruler here. Look at what I'm doing. I have my ruler here. So my ruler is here from center up to that point D. So I'll mark somewhere here. That is the length. That is the distance. Look at that. So that has to be brought here and come and laid against that line of 90 degrees like this. Look at this. Right, you might be exact in the case where you are, but still more the skills are the same. So I repeat that this is a distance for D from center. Now this is the line of 90. So what I'll have, I'll bring this one down against that line of 90, and then I will draw a line from center heading towards this direction like this, like that, until up to this position here. Look at that. Right. So which means D is here, and I write D prime. And angle this one is 90. And the first one, this one was 90. That's the story. Right. Let us have now the position of C. C, the same. You can also measure how long you see, but first, can you create an object line for C from center? So you also do the same. You have got your ruler like that, and this is the object line of C. Look at that. And then once I've done that, take a protractor, also measure an angle. That should be 90 degrees. So you have here, like that, at the center. Look at that. My 90 now is here. This is 90 degrees. That's the line. Look at the way I lay my protractor. Against a line, which is an object line. Right. Then after, what do? I have to take the distance from here up that. That line should pass through this point here. This is the direction of the 90 degrees. So what do I have here? I have another ruler which is longer than the other one. So I'm using this one here to have the accurate distance for that. So let us have this one here up to what level do we have that? Yeah, let me take it this way. From there up to here, this is where we have with C, distance of C from center is that. So bring that same distance down here and be able to allocate the position of talk over O. So you can have it like from the center, it comes here like this, like that, up to this position. So you can take it this way. That's from here up to somewhere here. Right. So this is the position of your what? C. So C is here. Prime. And then lastly, let's have B from center. So B is already within the line here. This is already object line or B. So what you do here, you can bring the line, and moreover, there's no need for you to measure this angle here. It's already 90, as you can see. Object line, this one for B. Then you have your protractor here at the center. You find that the 90 is already here. So it's just a matter of finding out at what exact position do we have a B along this line here. Right. So to find the position of B along this line, what you do, just measure the distance from here up to B. So what I have here is this. I have got a line here and my ruler. It measures up to this distance here, more like a 4, thing like that. So bring this one down like this and then find that the position is here. Right. So here you take note and say, this is my position of a B. So that is B prime. If we are to join, we have got A connected to D to form side AD of the rectangle, and then D to C, you come it like this one. And then finally, you connect B and C like this. Right. You can see this one, very successful. So this is your image. You can see now the rotation has been done toward the right side. This is the negative. So it means the object here has rotated for an angle of 90, negative 90, that is, degrees. Right. So first part of the question has been responded. Well, successful. Eh? This is our object. I'll just go through this, what it means by what we have had here. This is the object defined by these coordinates here. And this is the image, is the action which has been taken in relation to negative 90 degrees and the center of enlargement, or center of rotation, being it 0, 0. Right. Then now finally, can we now respond question? Can we now respond to the question by coming up with the coordinates of the points of the image? So now to that, it's just easy. You just have to give us the coordinates of point A prime, coordinates of point B prime, C prime, and D prime. What are they? Things like that. And so taking it for granted, usually in exam they'll give you the graph paper. All these points will just be exact, and I don't think you'll be going to find some problems. Like here for point A, you'll find that if you take the coordinates of point A is found out when x is 0, y is negative 1. So coordinates of A prime is x is 0, y is negative 1. Coordinates of B, x and y coordinates, here at this position, x is 0, y is negative 4. So write here x is 0, y is negative 4. The coordinates of C, this position here, you check first on the x-axis and find that x here is 2, y here is negative 4. So you write here x is a 2, y is negative 4. And lastly, we have D. Point D is found at x is 2, y is negative 1. So you write here x is a 2, y is negative 1. Right. My dear students, this is what we have in rotation. If they'll ask you to rotate a figure or an object, these are the way we do. Talk about these are the activities. When I say these, I'm referring even to the previous example we had in the previous video. The activity, we had that particular instance, and the activity we have here, they form 2 activities. So please divide that first example, divide this example again, repeatedly. You see that something will change in your brain about the rotation. So the same do about the translation and differentiate what is involved specifically in rotation, what is involved in rotation, right? So that there should be at least a gap somewhere. Like you talk of rotation is something, you talk of translation is something else. So the same, you need also to compare with what we're going to do in the enlargement, where we are going to finish the entire topic. Right. So the next activity that we'll have, it will be like where you'll be given the object, or we are going to draw the image and the object at large. The question now will come in. They may ask you to locate the center of rotation, and again ask you to come up with the angle of rotation. So like now, if we are given an image and the object, how do we come up with the center of rotation and angle of rotation? So that will be our next discussion in the next video to come. But all in all, I wish you all the best as you are going through these activities. Maybe before I leave, I will just leave you an activity here that maybe can help you to update up what we have just had in the two examples here, right? So can you take the instructions? What you do, can you just draw any quadrado? Like say for example, here I've got mine here. Okay, let me just give you this kind. I wanted to give you an example of the first. I wanted to give you an exercise in relation to the first example, but let me just give you this kind. Should I take that one? No, I think let's begin with the first example. You draw n, that's the talk of the quadratron, n quadratron, described by the following vertices K, Q, H, D, right? You know, a quadrat is a four-sided polygon. You can wish to draw a parallelogram, can draw maybe talk of a rectangle, kite, rhombus, etc. So I'm talking of any quadrat. Like say for example, how you should position it. It should be like this. I choose to draw the parallelogram or any kind. Don't be most of the times be exactly about the length as far as you see any four-sided polygon in short. Take that as K, Q, H, D. Right. Don't be mindful about the lengths of the side as far as they are 4. That's enough. Then after, can you have point, maybe point any fixed toward this side of this quadratron? Talk of any, like that. So anywhere toward this side, anywhere, just draw it as it is here. But the point N should be to the right of that figure. Okay? Once you have done that, can you try to rotate this quadratron about O, about N? You rotate this quadratron K, Q, H, D about N with an angle of rotation being it negative 120 degrees. So what I want you to do is simply just you have to rotate this one, this quadratron KQHD with an angle of negative 120 degrees. About N as your center of rotation. Right. So that when you do this, it's more like you are revising what we have already done here. Then everything will be well with you. Right. Otherwise, thank you very much for being together. The vision is paramount. Do now and again. The videos are just well coordinated and are there in line with the syllabus. Go with them and your revision will be perfect. Thank you very much.